How you doing, you guys? I hope you're doing great. This week we'll be reading Conversations with God by Neale Donald Walsch, who I am a huge fan of. In fact, maybe I'll show you later, I have an entire shelf dedicated to Neale Donald Walsch. I have just about every book that he's put out. I just think that this stuff is great, and I've highlighted a lot of this book. So let's get to it. The author begins by, the point is he was struggling all his life, and he started writing, asking God questions, and suddenly the pen took a life of its own and started answering questions, and after a while he learned he was talking to God. That's the idea of the book. You can take it or leave it, doesn't matter. You can learn from anything you agree with or don't agree with, and I have found this book to be fantastic. What had I done to deserve such a life of continuing struggle? God says, my most common form of communication is through feeling. Feeling is the language of the soul. If you want to know what's true for you about something, look to how you're feeling about it. The supreme irony here is that you have all placed so much importance on the Word of God, and yet so little on the experience. Mine is always your highest thought, your clearest word, your grandest feeling. Anything less is from another source. The highest thought is always that thought which contains joy. The clearest words are those words which contain truth. The grandest feeling is that feeling which you call love. Joy, truth, and love. My most powerful messenger is experience, and even this you ignore, especially this you ignore. What would happen if everything I thought was wrong was actually right? All great discoveries have been made from a willingness and an ability to not be right. For your thought about something is creative, and your word is productive, and your thought and word together are magnificently effective in giving birth to your reality. You will not have that for which you ask, nor can you have anything you want. That is because your very request is a statement of lack, and your saying you want a thing only works to produce that exact experience, wanting, in your reality. The correct prayer is therefore never a prayer of supplication, but of gratitude. When you thank God in advance for that which you choose to experience in your reality, you, in effect, acknowledge that it is there. Therefore, never supplicate, appreciate. Every prayer, every thought, every statement, every feeling is creative. To the degree that it is fervently held as truth, to that degree will it be made manifest in your experience. The process of prayer becomes much easier when, rather than having to believe that God will always say yes to every request, one understands intuitively that the request itself is not necessary. Then the prayer is a prayer of thanksgiving. It is not a request at all, but a statement of gratitude for what is so. God is the observer, not the creator. Heavy. Yet the parent never stops caring about the outcome. It is this dichotomy, not caring deeply about the process, but caring deeply about the result, that comes close to describing the dichotomy of God. Every human thought and every human action is based in either love or fear. And here is how human behavior produces repeat experience after repeat experience. It is why humans love, then destroy, then love again. Always, there is the swing from one emotion to the other. Love sponsors fear, sponsors love, sponsors fear. And the reason to be found is in the first lie, the lie which you hold as truth about God, that God cannot be trusted, that God's love cannot be depended on, that God's acceptance of you is conditional, that the ultimate outcome is thus in doubt. For the first thing you worry about after saying, I love you, is whether you'll hear it back. And if you hear it back, then you begin immediately to worry that the love you have just found, you will lose. This is so heavy. It's hard to give it to you in note form because it's so deep and excellent. By your own mistaken thoughts about love, do you damn yourself to never experience it purely. Every action taken by human beings is based in love or fear, not simply dealing with those relationships. Oh, I'm sorry. Every action by human beings is based in love or fear, not simply those dealings with relationships. Fear is the energy which contracts, closes down, draws in, runs, hides, hoards, harms. Love is the energy which expands, opens up, sends out, stays, reveals, shares, heals. Every human thought, word, or deed is based in one emotion or the other. You have no choice about this because there is nothing else from which to choose, but you have free choice about which of these to select. I actually took that fear is the energy which contracts, closes down, draws in, runs, hides, hoards, harms. Love is the energy which expands, opens up, sends out, stays, reveals, shares. I actually took some of that when writing Captain Kirk's Guide to Women. It's the difference between some of the leadership emotions I put in the book. You have been taught to live in fear. You have been told about the survival of the fittest and the victory of the strongest and the success of the cleverest. Precious little is said about the glory of the most loving. Yet I teach you this, when you choose the action love sponsors, then will you do more than survive. Then will you do more than win. Then will you do more than succeed. We had better stop there. What a fantastic book. I hope you guys pick this up and read this book and the rest of them. We'll continue this tomorrow. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.